We're going to do the truncated cone. That's going to be intersecting a cylinder. Now these are generally found on large operations when you see the conveyor of movement of food or liquids. This could be 8 feet, 6 feet, and then you're just funneling down to a smaller diameter. So we're going to need our front view here and our side view. We're going to do some element lines coming up, and where the element lines intersect, we'll end up being able to get some true lengths for a radial line here. And we're going to be able to figure out a hole pattern here. The hole pattern's got to stretch from here to here, plus it's got to be on the inside as well. So let's go ahead and have a look here. So I've already gone ahead and put some layout here, just to save a little bit of time. Now looking at the sheet here, 55, 110 for the diameter. Let's just double check, 110. I've kept it fairly close to the left side and fairly close to the bottom as well, so I have room up top to get some templates in patterns. Patterns could be quarter pattern or half pattern if they don't quite fit. How far away did I draw these? I just so they didn't get in the way of one another. I might have been able to get them a little closer together. I was thinking about putting the pattern here or here or here and the whole pattern up top. So I originally thought of just creating a swing here, making sure that it's out of the way far enough. Let's have a look here. So our length here, 120. Again, that the length probably doesn't matter for the cone and the hole, as long as it's overlapping. So that's pretty good there. But for that, I basically got about 100 mil between, about 100 mil from the edge here to this edge. So that's how that looks. It's 150 tall, so 150 to the center to my apex. So there's the 150 and the 45 here for the radius. So 45 double check with the 90, and same with this one here, 45 and 90. Let's go ahead and put the element lines on here. Take my dividers, set this to the radius of the cone. There we go. Now we're going to use that radius as well, just to cut this up into 6 sections. There we go. We'll do the other one as well. Cool. My mistake, jumped ahead here. I'm going to do a half moon here. This is pretty common practice. We do this with parallel line development as well. Anything round. Let's get this one out of the way here. Okay, let's bring those up. Make sure your T-square is tight to the table. Make sure your table has a nice straight edge to it, that it doesn't rock. Doesn't matter that I'm pulling my pencil up or down, but they say going down is actually straighter and better. Okay, let's put the element lines on here. Element lines is what gives it a 3-dimensional shape. Okay, there's our element lines. For this, we really need to get a shape over here so we can see where these element lines have intersected this cylinder here. So as these have intersected, we'll bring these over. Do I have to number these? Yeah, I will, or I can. So maybe we'll start with this one over here. I can just do a 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this could be done quarterly, so we'll just do quarters. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, 1 through 4, 1. Over here it's going to reverse because it's going to turn. So I'm going to go 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, really as simple as that. Where these intersect, I'm going to bring this over. So number 4 here, where number 4 is, it's going to be the one that's lowest down. Let's bring that over. Number 3, which is the, number 3 is 3. This one's really close to the top. And these will actually go all the way out to the edge. We will have to get these out eventually, so we may as well just bring those out now. Everything has to go to this sloping side, so let's just bring all those across. Okay, so wherever they intersect, so number 4 was here. And 3, which is here, and here, which are the same. 2 is here, and 1 is at the top. So there's the shape if you were looking at it sideways, and then if you're looking at it from the end of the cylinder here, this would be the shape as it's hitting there. So everything's already just intersecting there. So for this one here, one thing we didn't do is we didn't put the top of the cone on. So the top of the cone is at 50 down. So we'll go ahead and put that on. I guess we can do the cone pattern first, which will be the easiest one. Cut that off. That off. So we're going to have to sweep up from the bottom here. So I can do the pattern here or over here. So I'll probably do the whole pattern up here because I'm going to have to come off of this view. So it probably doesn't matter either way. This might have some cleaner over here just because I got lines in the way. So this might be a little bit better over here. So how about I just erase a few of these lines or fade them out because I don't need them. And we'll take our dividers and we'll come off from here. So for this one here, our element lines were created from the base, all the way down here at the bottom. So this is where we're going to be coming from. How much room do we have? Ooh, I got a little bit. Could I do a half pattern? Maybe. Let's do some math here. So this was 90. So 90 diameter times pi. 282.7. We'll divide that by 2. So let's divide that by 2. 141.37. And why don't we divide that into 6? Because that's 141 from here to here, so half of it. And then we need these little arc length here as well. So let's divide this by 6. 23.56. Okay, everything's in millimeters here. Just easier that way. So as we did before, we're going to take the 23.56, so pretty much 24. I guess we'll accumulate a little bit of error, half a mil if we go with that, but as we get going. But let's go with the 141. Where does that bring us? So let's get a half pattern out of this. So 141. Let's go ahead and get that as accurate as we can. Right about there. Like I said, if you had a snake with a ruler on it, that would be real accurate as well. Let's go ahead and do the 23.5, almost 24. Make a mark. Using 24, 24 is 48, just a little less than that. Marks on here. Again, 24 and 48 here. Should have about 48 in between, which I'm almost due, so that's pretty close. Let's be finicky here. Okay, let's bring it all the way up. So it's hard to see the little millimeters there sometimes, especially the half mils. There's down here. Again, I just decided to do this over on this side just because it was a little cleaner over here. I just had a little bit more area. Now there is lots of software programs that are out there that are able to generate these digitally, and we'll be doing that in another couple weeks. But like I said, it's sure nice to be able to do things multiple different ways here. Might not always have a computer on you in the shop or out in the field, so this is pretty quick, pretty simple. Only takes 20 minutes. So we got to work off the bottom here because that's where we worked from. We had the base. We can number these as well. So coming off the short side here, so we're 1 there. We can go 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, and 1 there. Okay, so let's just take these on the side here. So this is 1 at the top. There should actually 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, there's 2, 3, 4. Maybe we'll do 1 first. 1 is just on the top there. There's 1 there. We'll bring this over to the other side. 2 is just down a little bit further. 2, 3 a little bit more. And again, at radial line development, everything always comes off the sloping side. There we go. And we'll get the top of this cone as well. There we go. We'll snake this in. Yeah, this is always the tricky part. Try to connect to the next dot from the intersection that you're trying to go to. It always produces a little bit more of a smoother line. Again, this is always the hard part here. This is when you're on the shop floor, you always get a hand from somebody else. Okay, that's pretty good. We're going to just go through this markup sheet here. Again, we're just going to put our name on there and identify this. So for this one here, just trying to maybe in the middle here. Put the date on there, just so you know when it was built. Project name, so we'll just put Truncated Cone or Cone. I'll just put Cone on this one, keep it simple. This is drawing 5. And this one here is a half pattern. Okay, identify the center line. So this here is the center line. Better put some quarter marks on there. These would also be quarter marks on the outside. Just want to make sure you punch the plate. Those are there, especially if you flip this over and you use this full scale, because you could put this in the rolls. So chances are you would lay this out on full plate, but you would probably cut it off along here somewhere, so you're not wasting so much material. So, but for this one here, for this example, I'm just going to put form 2 is 90 diameter, and we'll leave it full size until we form it, and then we'll cut it. Up top here, I didn't have a dimension, but we will measure for that. So it looks like it's about 30. So we will form to 30. That's along here, and that would be cut. So that will be a burn line. These will be shear lines. This will eventually be a burn line, and this will be a burn line down here. That'll be a shear line, and you're shearing all the way through. Okay, and there's the pattern for that. So that's done. Let's go ahead and do the hole pattern. So this will be up top. So we need to calculate the distances from this front view along here, because the pattern needs to wrap around. But it's going to come off the width here. So we're going to do the width here, and then it's going to wrap around here, which will then turn over to here. So this turns like this and comes out like that. So I'm going to bring all these lines up here. Okay, so the center line's already almost all the way up. Let's just make this a little bit further. Just like that. Let's take number 3 here. Let's go up with number 3. And I'm not going to draw through my pattern because I don't want to wreck it. So I'm just going to draw on the outside here. And number 1. With this, number 3. I'm only going to be able to do a half pattern up here. And that's all that fits on my page. So that's okay with that. Okay, so this is obviously 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, and 1. Now we just need to find some distances down. So for this one here, we need to go to 4. So I'm going to, let's see, well, let's figure out how long this is going to be first. So we need to measure on the curve the distance from here to there, so 4 outside. So let's go ahead and measure that. And it looks like it's about 33, 34. Okay, 34. So 34 for this one. So I can almost, so 34 goes to here. I'm just going to put a line across here for a center line for a cut here for the half pattern. There we go. Uh, 34. comes to there. So there's the edge, and again, there's the 34, goes from 34 to 34. And now we're going to have to go ahead and just measure 3. So 3 is, let's see, it's about, I think it's 28, 29. 28, we'll go with 28. 30 minus the 2. So 28 for those. 2 here is going to be a little shorter. It looks like it's about 14 to 15. So we'll go with 15 here. Here and here. And 1 is right at the top. So that's how that is. Let's go ahead and try to snake this in. That's always the fun part. Gets a little tight here sometimes. What side of my snake am I on here? Go to the side of my snake that doesn't have the ridge up, so it's generally for the ink. So it doesn't smear. Smearing is never good. Sorry, I'm away there a little bit. Sometimes little tricks what guys will do, they'll just put tape under here, kind of like you'll see with my square. Put some tape and it gets it off the page a little bit, believe it or not. This is a little trick just to get rid of the smearing. Also, if you got sweaty palms, a lot of times people just use another piece of paper so they're not getting their handprint on there as well. So they'll just put a piece of paper under their hand. Okay, so same thing here. We just need to identify. So a lot of information in this little pattern here. So I'm going to have to write small for this one. And again, it's the 21st today. A few patterns today. What else are we doing here? Project name. So we'll just call this the full pattern. And this is a half pattern. I guess we drawing 5 as well. And it's a full pattern. And then just some identification. So quarter marks there, center line, get some quarter marks there. This again could be a center line here, so maybe I'll just put a center line for that. Whether what's going to be cut out, this would be a burn line, this would be a burn line, that's a center line. So whether that's sheared or not, your piece, this is a pattern, so it'll go over your piece. But we'll put a shear. We got a center line. Depends if you want to duplicate this up. Forming directions. We don't really have a forming direction with this one because it is a pattern just for the hole, so it'll just get laid over. Maybe we can put a left or right or forward and reverse, but we got some numbers there. Hopefully be able to figure out which way is which. So there's the 4 there. So knowing the width, one way is a little bit longer than the other. This one does wrap along the pipe this way. So maybe we can say form to 90 this way. So that gives somebody some indication which direction this is going. So the 90 being this way, it does wrap around this way on that. So that's where that's wrapping. Oh, actually, I guess it's wrapping around the outside, isn't it? So 55, 110. Sorry about that. Yeah, so 110 for that one. Yeah, because it'll have to wrap around there. Okay, that's fully identified. That's fully identified. You got your patterns there. You can print these off. Again, you can check that there, how that fits. The hole there looks pretty close. Again, put that over top of a glass or some on a window, be able to check that. The D2L, there's the how-to. That's basically what we went through there. And truncated cone, really it's intersecting a cylinder. It is truncated on top, so just didn't have enough room to write that in there. So drawing number 5. And there we go. So as, again, you'd be taking a picture of that or scanning that to submit that into the assignments. Okay,